During the summer of 2013, 15 people were interviewed who collectively had over 400 years of experience within the lobster industry. The opinions and perspectives collected are from women and men, past and current harvesters, buyers, distributors, processors, government officials, association members, and industry stakeholders. They discussed the importance of the lobster fishery, the opportunities, issues, and passion they have for the industry. This is what they had to say.
Look, I've been fishing for 45 years, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I wouldn't trade it for anybody, anything. And it has its ups and downs, that's for sure.
I was born, bred, growed up fishing. That's all you knew. The easy part of it is you love it. I have great people that works with me. My nephew goes with me, so I have good help. And it's just born and bred into you, so that's the easy part of it. When you like something, it's always easy.
I was born and brought up to doing it, and it's just in my heritage and in my blood, I guess.
That's all we have now, is the lobster industry. And with that lobster industry, it's what's keeping our town alive.
People talk about money at dockside. Well, the money at dockside that's made gets spent in the community. The money that goes into the bigger corporation doesn't. It gets jobs, and they are certainly appreciated, and they are good to have. But the big corporate profits don't get spent in these small communities. It's not a criticism, it's a realism.
But on the global marketplace that we're playing on, this is big business. This is $1 billion a year for the province of Nova Scotia, the fishing industry. The lobster industry alone in Atlantic Canada is worth over $1 billion in exported value.
Technology has changed the industry 100%. The boats are getting bigger and bigger, right? And they are going further. They found lobsters 50 miles off. We've never heard tell of that before. Our local boats used to stay in 5 miles and fish on the shore.
When I went to school, if you went to school with a lobster sandwich, you was a poor person. Then along comes my kids, and they start taking lobster sandwiches to school, and they can trade them off for anything they want because you're well-to-do, you're having lobsters. So it's how times have changed. Yeah.
Percent of the lobsters that are caught in Nova Scotia are exported, and they're exported to the United States. 80% is high, but it could even be higher than that, because I think this is where a lot of the problem, and what people don't understand that are not intimate with this fishery, it's a live market. That's where the money is.
Well, the costs have certainly gone up. You know, rope is higher, fuel is higher, bait's higher, but our income is basically the same for the last 10 or 15 years. And the price of lobsters is maybe less than it was 10 or 15 years ago, but the cost is, at least doubled. So that's a challenge, is you can't go for 50, 75 crates a year like you used to be able to do, but now you got to try to catch more.
35 years ago,
Is that a going price?
I could get a lobster trap for $2, and I could buy a boat ready for the water for $15,000. And I got $11 a pound. Now they're $5, and a lobster boat will cost you $500,000, and a lobster trap will cost you $100.
Well, the average age of license holders right now is 55 years old. They're going towards retirement.
It's scary. I mean, for a young person to invest a lot of money in this business, and it's not very certain.
And all of a sudden, with temperature increase in ocean temperatures, we have an astronomical growth in the catches, just through the roof. We went from a time when I started, if we caught 3,000 pounds or 4,000 pounds for a 6-month season, was exceptional in 33. This last year, it's more like average of 30,000 pounds. I mean, that's phenomenal, the growth.
Something has happened. Is it climate? Is it declining codfish? Is it this? Is it that? I don't know. Something has happened. We're catching lobsters in places never known to catch lobsters. There's more lobsters than there ever was. Something has happened.
The overall North American landings of Homarus americanus were 165 million pounds in 2003, and last year they were 295 million pounds. 80% more product.
But the overall Nova Scotia, they're catching much more lobster than the before. Its quantity twice as much almost. And then price is much lower than the before.
It's a very, very, very stressful job when because you have to deal with so many people and so many issues.
But it's stressful because this is your livelihood, so you're hoping that trap is solid full of lobsters, and it's like...
The biggest issue in the lobster industry is mistrust. That's our biggest internal factor. Nobody trusts anybody. We're hoping the lobster panel can shed some of that darkness away. Take us out of the closet, shake us off and say, look, guys, everybody's hurting.
Guys just don't want to band together at all because nobody wants anybody to do better than them, and that's the biggest problem. Everybody wants to do the best and they don't want anybody to get ahead of them. And that's ultimately, like, they're kind of killing the lobster industry themselves. Not everybody.
But it also goes to the fact that the harvesting sector in Southwest Nova is very poorly organized. And simply has got to get better organized, or they're at the mercy of all kinds of regulators taking advantage of them. And they all know that. And it's probably the biggest challenge that I see in eastern Shelburne County. If you have to pick a place, all of Shelburne County, all of Lunenburg County, all of LFA 33 has no organization in lobster.
The hardest part was trying to develop trust between government and fishermen. That was always an issue. Fishermen have a natural suspicion about government people. They tend to question their value and the role that they play.
I mean, it's not hard to understand why it's dysfunctional. It's 5 provinces. It's a couple different languages. It's 10,000 independent fishermen. It's hundreds of companies processing, shipping, buying, dealing, trading. Everybody's trying to make a go of it.
When I was a young man, I could go after halibut, make good money with the halibut. I could make good money with the long lining, the herring, and the mackerel. And they got involved in all that stuff and screwed every one of them up. And the only thing that survived was lobster, because they kept their fingers out of it. Now they're trying to get into that. And if they do, that'll be gone. Just like everything else.
I deal with hundreds of years of history in fishing and processing and shipping, and changing people's behavior is very tough.
You're afraid they're going to put quotas on. If they do, that's the end of lobstering as we know it, and the end of our communities. Because the big companies will come in and buy everything up.
I'm pretty certain that if you put a quota on the lobster fishery, because I've seen it happen with other fisheries, within a very short period of time, all the quotas would be in the hands of a few. And I mean, I've just been brought up that way. It's what I believe. It's a personal opinion, but I think it's based on the fact, once again, that that's the money that the communities need to survive. There's really nothing else for them. Add the other fisheries into the equation and it would be a very viable place, and we wouldn't have to rely on government so much.
The fisheries should talk quotas, which I hope that never comes into effect.
I heard a rumor they put in the quota system in the lobster. I'm completely against it.
If you wanted to unite fishermen and dealers, put in a quota, because you'll see people fight that tooth and nail.
I think it'd be the worst thing in the world for the industry, but they're like talking quotas and all that.
Quotas should never leave the hands of the fishermen.
Every province wants to do their own thing, every region wants to do their own thing, every harvesting group wants to do their own thing. Everybody thinks they have the best lobster in the country, everybody thinks they're right. And by and large, they probably are. But if you want to work together and have strength of a country, you have to give up something.
Quality has been what we've stood behind, and what we have pushed to be our edge in the market is we guarantee our customer good quality lobster.
And I really begrudge the fact that I'm selling a fresh lobster and they have held theirs maybe for 6 or 7 weeks and they're getting the same price.
Get a two-price system, and we will, you know, it'll do a lot of things because the junk will not go on the market. So therefore it's going to put less lobsters on the market, which will demand a better price.
Shelburne County, Lunenburg County, if you ask anybody in the industry, traditionally have high quality lobster. To me, it's a perfect place to do a pilot project on a split price.
Dealing with a whole lot of fishermen is not fun sometimes, but it's worth it at the end when you see the communities flourishing.
I think we could sell more locally if we promote it a little better locally. I mean, I think we have a big opportunity in Canada, not just eastern Shelburne County or here, but domestically in Canada.
If we want the fishermen to make money to support the local communities, which I think is of the ultimate importance, then that barrier's got to be broken. Their lobsters have got to skip some of the loops they have to go through to get to market. And that's where government has a role to play, in my view.
A big opportunity that we often forget about is it's a local product. It's a healthy, fresh, safe, local product.
We need to market lobsters. We've never had to do it. And it's time for us to jump out there and tell the world we've got one of the best products on the planet. This is wild-caught food from clear Atlantic water. We need to get that message out to the world. If we do that and we can increase the demand, hopefully we can start to prop up our communities.
But people don't realize that if they're going to wake up soon, and I hope it's not too late, we have the best resource in the world on our doorstep. It's the food chain.
If we can start to educate people in Nova Scotia, start to educate people Maritimes, work across the country, and start getting that pride in what a unique product we really have, because between us in Atlantic Canada and a little bit in Maine, nobody else has this product on the planet.
I didn't grow up in the fishing industry, but ever since I've been working in the fish business, so I love it. So I love the people in it, and I love the international nature of it, and I love the opportunities that it presents. So in that sense, it's easy to come to work, and I love the challenge.
I mean, it's been a good life for me. So, you know, you try to find stuff that's challenging, but for me, it's been a good life, and I wouldn't. If I was going to do it over again, I wouldn't do anything different.